Hello friends, and welcome to the 8th episode of a multiplayer game between IR and Cabman. And let's start it with a short recap. You can see the races of the players, and IR plays research race and Cabman plays more production-based race. We have 4 commanders for IR. All of them have a navigator, and you can see the defensive tech and attacking tech or combat tech. Mostly now it drives, shielding, inertial stabilizer and anti-matter bomb with a Titan construction. Additionally, we have of course notable economy technologies, Terraforming, Federation, Heightened Intelligence, Astro University, Recyclotron, Stock Exchange were researched as well. Additionally, of course, to all those good early game stuff like RoboMiners plant, automated factories, robotic factories, various computers for the research, for the further research. And as we can see, the next tech IR chooses is phasers. It's like I'm always wrong. Last time I thought that choosing gravity generator instead of graviton beam indicates that IR doesn't want to go beams, and now he chooses phasers. Maybe it's not a permanent pick, maybe he will change it, but it will be seen. As of now, Cabman has a bit of initiative. His scouts all over the place in the IR territory, and IR scouts are destroyed each time IR tries to investigate what's going on at Cabman. However, it still has some merit to do so, because even though each scout IR sends are destroyed, while he is in space, he at least gives some positions of enemy fleet. So it's like a suicide bombing probe. Yeah, it will be destroyed, but at least it will see something, maybe in common fleet or stationary fleet. We can see that the Titan building, but it's certainly for the store and production purposes, because we didn't see any designing for the Titan class. Here we see the design of a scout killer. However, it's not the case. IR want to do something else. Scepter. Maybe it will be a scout killer. No. So, as you can see, IR has interceptors, and it seems I missed those when he researched it. Okay. 3 interceptors can be mounted in a frigate, which is quite a lot. It's all due to miniaturization. As you know, when you research certain branch of the tree where previously researched technologies reside, certain technology will get their space diminished, which is great because you can mount more of those in your ships. Considering that a frigate is the smallest craft and interceptors are quite big weapon, it's quite an achievement to get 3 of those, and those each of those mount contain 4 interceptors, so it's 12 interceptors in just one small frigate, which is really great. And now I understand why phasers were picked, because phasers will be chosen as a main weapon of an interceptor. The game will choose the bestest point defense beam player has. So it seems my prediction were has half of a merit, that IR doesn't want to go a beam road and goes to interceptors. However, of course, in the future we may see something else. Continuing to build those warp interdictors to stop some unexpected enemy fleets coming. As you know, they will allow you to react, postponing enemy fleet arrival to the planet at least for one turn. Which is a huge deal, because IR has jump gate, which allows him to move quite quickly between his systems. It speeds up the fleet movement by 4 parsecs per turn. He has antimatter drive. Combined, it's 9 parsecs per turn, while moving between player-owned systems. As we can see, colonizing still continues, even though combat phase is already in place and all agreements are lifted. As I already promised in the last episode, to get a better understanding how these agreements work in VDC modification, which we are watching right now. Till 115 turn, you cannot attack enemy colonies. However, you may attack any fleets stationary, which stationed anywhere. You may destroy outpost ships, if those, of course, is not at the systems of a player. However, maybe you can do this as well. So basically, till 116, you cannot attack colonies, but everything else is okay. There are caveats to save against exploits, to prohibit exploits. Let's say it like this: that you cannot colonize systems closer than 6 and lesser parsecs. So 7 and 7 plus is good to go, but lesser than that is prohibited. So you cannot have like indestructible outpost, let's say it like this, to mount your attack immediately after 115. That's pretty much it about non-aggression agreements in VDC. Okay, this starbase is built for real. It's not for storing production purposes. 9 income in this colony. Great. Okay, it seems with those scepters, IR wants to remove those pesky scouts of Cabman from his empire. This is why he mounted shield capacitors to make those anti-scouts scepter ships withstand those strategies Cabman uses, because his designs are designed to kill small ships to immediately go as close as possible to destroy a small frigate, or maybe even destroyer. I don't really know if those scouts, actually Cabman scouts, have any combat capabilities. Maybe they aren't, because with additional weight of fuel cells, extended fuel cells, they won't be able, I think, to produce this strategy, to produce this tactics, or to use this tactics. The speed won't be there. As you know, the more free space or free weight ship has, the faster it moves. And extended fuel tanks, which allowed Cabman scouts to get where they are weighed quite heavily, has a quite heavy weight. Still, even if it's like that, those Scepter's frigates should be pretty formidable enemies to deal with. And we see that those will be built in some amounts to prevent, I think, to prevent Cabman scouts residing on the territory of IR's empire. Star bases continue to be built. Additionally to defense and command points, which allows to field more ships without monetary repercussions. Those given an ability to build a bigger type of ships, or bigger hulls of ships, like cruisers, battleships, titans, and if we will get their Doomstars. Okay, we are checking something right now. We can see then that still those colony ship sitting at Drago, and now he redirected to Lethat system. Maybe you have noticed that CAF system is under the siege, blockaded, and we can see the combat. So those are not pure scouts. It seems Cabman has a combat fleet there. I decided not to fight because he doesn't have numerical advantage, and Cabman has it, obviously. However, Cabman may decide to do so, to initiate the combat. It allows to see, okay, yeah, if it's really only scouts, or, and now it's obvious those are not pure scouts. Yep, destroyed immediately. Oh, so that ship wasn't a combat ship from IR. Those was scout. That was scout. Okay, we have our scout arrived at Cabman system, which surprisingly doesn't have a scout killer in it, which is great. And phaser is researched. Or should I say has been researched. still building cloning centers, so IR can see this game going for quite a while, not redirecting every bit of production to military purposes only, continue to build up his empire, so gearing up to many turns to come. Continue to transferring population between systems, between planets. We see that some fleets, Cabman fleets, are converging at one system in the bottom, changing to at Saha system. Yeah, we have two blockaded planets systems. It's always not good to have system blockaded, because three planets, I'm sorry, are now blockaded. It doesn't allow to transfer population there, to buy things, or to provide or get the food from other systems. So those planets should get their food themselves, and if there are not, they will starve, literally. It's not as prominent right now with a cybernetic perk, which racial trait, which IR picked with evolutionary mutation technology, but still not a pleasant thing to have in your empire. I'm certain that those small scepter ships exactly for this purpose, to remove the small frigates, Cabman frigates, from IR's territory, to deblockade those systems. Proton torpedo is the next tech. Great tech to have, so it's, I feel it's like a clear sign that IR wants to go torpedo route, maybe mixed up with missiles. We may see glue technique, cover technique. If we do, I will explain it in the moment. Building space academies. Space Academy allows to get regular crew immediately, and the ships built on that planet instead of a green crew, for purposes for beam attack and ground combat purposes. Even though now Cabman has a certain initiative advantage and scouting advantage, it's still too early to suggest anything, and I believe IR have had situations like this in his past vast experience. He's a really experienced player, both of those players. Of our players quite experienced. So I'm certain he knows what to do in these situations, and this little disadvantage should be resolved. But still, let's not deny that for now IR tries to stabilize, let's say it like this, a little bit. By the lack of better words. He adds battle scanner to intercept or carrier for the one things only. It's for the initiative. The more beam attack plus speed you have, the faster you're going to get your action in the combat. Which is huge, of course, as always. As we can see a couple of times, the fast-moving, fast initiative small ships of Cabman destroyed a couple of small craft, IR small craft, so it's like self-explanatory why it's so good. Moving those scepters in a queue, just to have something in the system if Cabman decides to counterattack, because Cabman fleet has a better fuel cells, so they can reach a bit deeper in the IR's territory. And let's remember that Cabman has a telepathic racial peak, racial trait he acquired using evolutionary mutation technology, and aside from spying bonuses or spy bonus, it allows to immediately acquire control of a position or enemy system, even without transport ships or bombardment. All you need to do is to destroy any planetary or star-based defenses or fleet defenses, enemy defenses, of course, and to have a battleship in your fleet, or higher, of course, Titan, Doomstar. That will allow you immediately conquer this world, this planet, should I say. Only telepathic leader can deny this opportunity in this system. As you can see, Cabman has already had this fleet spike in the previous episode. However, we don't see this fleet yet. It sits somewhere outside of our sensor ranges. IR continues to build defenses. Those... oh, here you go. Doomstar at Saho. Doomstar at Saho system, guys. That's those spike we saw. That's really unexpected. Like, really unexpected. Considering that IR has an advantage, research advantage, or technology advantage, judging by graphs, compared to Cabman's. It seems at some tech branches, Cabman has an advantage. That's interesting. That's quite interesting. How would IR deal with that Doomstar? Doomstar, it's the biggest ship hull. It's so it's quite hard to deal with. And it seems we should get our answers right now about this Doom Star. Cabman attacks IR system with this fleet, and IR has only 3 frigates, the smallest craft there is. However, those are of course quite advanced, and the planet has interceptors garrison and maybe shields as well. We will see that. And this craft is a scout killer. Let's see if I would be able to destroy frigates. Fusion beam. Just huge amount of fusion beams. So mostly this Doom Star has huge amount of point defense beams and couple of heavy beams in it, and couple of small bombarding ships against planet. And this design is quite good. As you can see, this small anti-frigate design just destroyed 2 frigates even before they could do anything. So this is a Cabman who goes beam road. This is after ship, heavily shielded with 70 damage blocked. This is quite a shield to grind through. Though the weapon choice doesn't allow for prolonged combat, because interceptors could be destroyed, and this Nemesis Doom Star has all the point defense weapon in the world. So even though those scouts are quite the frigates are quite heavily defended with shields, as you can see, 3 heavy beams, heavy amount of fusion beams didn't destroy this scout. And this frigate, I'm sorry, this Scepter frigate. Those 2 frigates of Cabman are going a little bit further, so if if IR decides to close the distance to destroy those, because those are because those have bombs, and those bombs would penetrate a shielding of a planet if it has one. Obviously diminishing its chances to win. As you can see, interceptors working quite great against undefended targets. However, this huge blob of point defense fire just shrug them off like it's nothing. And those are 12 interceptors. Here we have a bit more of those, and it has to be seen, of course. Can they do something? Yeah, they destroyed an armor. however structure points tripled due to reinforced hull, trying to destroy the carrier, scepter carrier. But 70 points of shield is not an easy thing to destroy. However, next turn all those point defense weapon would recharge, and those 91 point defense fusion beams would even half of those were enough to destroy all those interceptors. In a couple of turns those interceptors would be back. However, will the planet stand? Okay, so those small craft is destroyed. However, Doomstar has a couple antimatter bombs in it. Trying to destroy their small frigate craft. One interceptor stays in the air, or in space in this case. Air continues trying to dodge this big hulking thing. Doing a little bit of damage each time to a planet. However, damage is quite negligible, and bombs will deplete after 8 turns, and the fight may be long enough to not allow Cabman to win. Now the question is if a new batch of fighters can cripple this Doomstar before, or even recharge before this Doomstar destroys. Okay, we have a new batch of interceptors, let's see. Quite the damage. The damage out there. However, wait, this is cybernetic. Oh man, I forgot. Both players are cybernetic, and cybernetic ships repair themselves each turn. So only way to win this fight is just to prolong it long enough. However, yeah, prolonged long enough, so to have the bombs depleted. However, it won't happen because 2 volleys and planets is done. So the bombs will... those 6 volleys of bombs is enough. Enough to destroy planet. Okay, here enable some scripts just to see, just to crunch some numbers, but it seems this planet is toast, and if nothing happens, either IR would prolong the fight to 50 turns or so it is no contest, and the win it won't be today is not my day, I can't talk, really. You can prolong the fight long enough, so no one can win it. It would end after 50 turns, and I think there are some rulings that if you attack in 40 turns, after 40 turns something happens, but however I don't remember what exactly, but any chance to win this fight is now just to run around trying to prolong the fight long enough. Let's see if IR will do this. And I've tried to find a word awarded. Win is not awarded. Yeah. To the attacker if attacker can't destroy all opposition in 50 turns. Yeah, I can talk sometimes. So let's see how it's going to resolve. For now, this Nemesis Doomstar tries to get at least one of that frigate. By the way, this is quite a normal thing to see in VDC modification. Fights are quite long here because the mod set up with many quirks and interesting possibilities in combat as well, like missile dodging with destroyers and things like here, just trying to prolong the fight long enough. I think this, by the way, this frigate has his shields almost depleted, so next turn he may fall. Yeah, shields almost depleted, and only shields are keeping him alive, because his basic hull is so small, only 10 points of HP, with armor and structure, that he will die in small volley when shields are down. So yeah, I was at the combat in these modifications are longer than in standard. Cabman tries to corner this frigate with depleted shields, and IR obviously tries to run around this Doomstar, and unfortunately for IR, Doomstar succeeds in destroying even this heavily shielded frigate. Maybe this second frigate can do this run around the rosy around the planet. And stall long enough so fight would end. But here you can quite clearly see the kind of a balance this modification has. So yeah, this Doomstar is like a pinnacle of what Cabman can field right now. and it struggles to destroy a couple of advanced technology-wise frigates. So technology or technological advantage is quite a dominant thing to have in this game. It's quite easy to see when Entrants attack you with those small frigates and destroying your battleship, like those are made from paper. Here we see something like this. However, the Cabman has quite an advantage ship design wise, because his ships are direct counters against what IR has. And this shows an experience of someone with countless fights, anticipating those possibilities and designing exactly a ship like this. Okay, so it seems IR holds. The combat ended without... Yep, the combat ended. Man, this was nerve-wracking. Okay guys, this will be the end of this episode. Please feel free to tune in to the next one. All the links will be in the description. And of course, as always, have a great day and bye bye.